Pregnant vegan mama in Toronto. The I am no longer pregnant version. Here we are. Here's little baby Willow. She was born 2 days ago. So yeah, when I was doing that last update for you guys, I was definitely in early labor. I wasn't certain at the time, but I called the midwives and they decided to make their way over to avoid rush hour. They arrived around 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and I was in active labor from about 8:30 until 9:30, and then felt myself needing to naturally want to push, which I went for, even though I did the hypnobirthing, and they're like, don't push, just breathe the baby down. I was like, I'm not breathing this baby down. I'm pushing, because I want her to come out. There's always a point in labor where I'm like, I don't want this to go on any longer than it has to. I just want her out now. So I definitely end up feeling a drive and a push to continue on and not to lengthen things out even longer. And I guess, hypnobirthing in some ways, at least for a mom who's already given birth and her labors tend to be faster, it would be about lengthening out the process. And yeah, I just wasn't interested in that. So I was being very mindful about how I was feeling and what my body was telling me, and feeling very empowered to go with what my body needed. And that I do feel like going through the hypnobirthing classes helped me really develop that strong sense, and to take on, if I felt like I needed to, be more animal, then be more animal. And I did a lot of being on all fours to get through the contractions, and it really seemed to help. And it's not something that I decided beforehand or I'd read, hey, this is maybe a good position. It just felt right. And so I went with that. And at one point I was like, oh man, these contractions are so close together. I'm inside the house now. I had already, during early labor, set up the pool outside and got everything ready for having a birth outside. So if I don't go now, I don't think I'm even going to make it. So I got myself up between rest and one of the contractions, and just moved as fast as I could through the living room and then out onto the deck, and got myself in the pool. And the water was so nice and warm and relaxing. I immediately felt more relaxed, and it took the next contraction a bit longer to come, and it was a bit shorter. And then I realized once the contractions started to get stronger again, I heard my midwife say, oh, that's good, that's what you want those good, strong contractions. And I felt like that was a really useful thing for her to say, because otherwise I would have been thinking, I don't want intense, strong contractions. Those are the ones that hurt more. But I knew as well that the contractions it meant that baby was getting closer to being born. So keeping those two things in mind and seeing how they connected, it really helped me, encouraged me to just really let those contractions be as long and as powerful as they wanted to be. So yeah, after an hour of the active labor, then I didn't say anything, because I don't know why I didn't say anything, but yeah, I guess I just wasn't really in a talking mood. I was becoming really, really inward, and I just was listening to my body. I felt that it wanted to start pushing at the end of some of the contractions, so I did that for about maybe 3 of them. And then the 4th one, I felt, oh, okay, this one's really strong and I really want to push. And so I did. And at that same time or in between, I think I might have been holding my partner's hand or something, or I knew his hand was there, but I reached out even more because I really wanted to put my arm around him and feel, even though it was double fold, it was to get up on my knees into a position that I felt like it just felt better to be in. I just knew that that's a position I wanted to be in. And also I wanted to have him closer to me. I had like this image of my mind of how I had seen in other birds, these women, and they're putting their arms around their partner. But at that point, it was definitely more than just a comfort thing. It was, I need you here now. And it was funny though, because when I was looking for him, I wasn't looking with my eyes at all. My hand just kind of went out, hand and arm flailing, saying, I need you, where are you? And so he just like zipped over, and I got my arm around, got up on my knees, and either finished that contraction push or yeah, I finished that one. And then when I was up on my knees, I put my hand down, and I was like, oh, she's almost already out, her head, I can feel it. And I didn't say any of this, but then he looked down too, because he was right there, and he's like, oh, she's crowning. And if it hadn't been for that, I don't know if the midwives even would have come over yet at that point. They were just, giving me space. So she came over, the student midwife, and she put her hand down on near Willow's head too. And I was just kind of thinking at the time, what's that hand doing there? I don't need your hand here. I've got this under control. I've got my little Willow. It's okay. But like I said, I wasn't saying any of these things. It just instinctually, I was just going with it. And I went to the next contraction. Her head completely came out. And then I saw the midwife go and take the cord from around her neck, which wasn't tight or anything, but it was just there. So she just moved it. I was like, oh, okay. Maybe it is useful to have the midwife after all. I think I would have been like, oh, there's a cord. What do I do? I don't know. And the contraction after that, then her body just kind of slid out very easily, her shoulders, and then the rest of her little body. And I noticed there was a lot of other things coming out at the same time, because my water hadn't actually broken until that point. And so there was the blood that just normally comes along with it. Then there was some meconium that was coming out in the water too. And I was a little concerned, but the midwives didn't seem concerned. So I was like, okay, that's good. And they took her out of the water, and they got one of the syringe bulbs, and just took, and I immediately thought, oh, it must be the meconium. But later when I read their notes, it was because she just had some water. Some of the pool water was in her mouth, so they removed that with the syringe bulb. And after that, she wanted me to get out of the water, which I'm never keen about. I even talked about it, and I was like, well, can't we just drain it? And then she paused, and then she looked at me and said, no, I want you to come out of the birth pool. I was like, okay, fine. And I think it's better for baby. It's like, oh, okay, fine. So I just, they helped me out. But yeah, I just feel so weak. It's like, it's so, I guess my legs could have done it on their own, but at the time, they just feel like they're not even there or something, right? So, they even asked, oh, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just tired, or my legs just feel weak. And so I pretty much used a lot of my upper body muscles to push myself up with their support as well. And then I managed to get out of the pool and onto our rattan sofa bed kind of thing that we also have out on the deck. And that's where I got up there, and they had me deliver the placenta, and which that came out really easily too. There wasn't any problems. There wasn't any excess bleeding. Still, she wanted to give me the oxytocin because I guess my uterus just wasn't feeling, it was just feeling really squishy still, and she wanted it to firm up faster. I was like, okay, fine, everything's done. It's not gonna, affect Violet or the placenta or anything at that point because everything was already done. So, yeah, I was like, okay, that's fine. I could have asked her why she actually, well, no, because I do know, because she wanted it to firm up. But yeah, I'm sure it would have done it by itself. But, yeah, I was okay with that. And I guess that was, that was pretty much it. Our birth photographer didn't make it. She was waiting to, the last thing that she had heard was, oh, okay, and the midwives are coming. So in her mind, she was like, okay, well, maybe I should let them assess first and then I'll come over. But that is just the wrong thing to do. This is like a note to all birth photographers. If this is a second, third, whatever, fourth, eighth time mom, do not wait. When she says, come on over, just come on over. Unfortunately, my friend, she couldn't find my address. She hadn't been over to my house before. So that kind of held her back too, and she didn't make it. My other friend, Hart, she was here, and she was able to take care of my 2 older daughters and keep them occupied, and that was really great because Brandon, my partner, definitely ends up taking a doula role when there's a home birth, and he was just running around getting this, getting that for them, which is kind of interesting because it made me feel like maybe next time, if not next time, why am I even saying that? If there was ever a next time, maybe it would be nice to have a doula just to take care of all those little things that he was running around doing, and then he could have just concentrated on me and on the birth, and I think that would have been less stressful for him, maybe more enjoyable. Yeah. So if there's a next time, otherwise, yeah. I ended up with a small labial tear, and they did a couple stitches, and it hurt. I was like, ow, ow, ow. And she even mentioned that, hi, sweetie, that that's the part that most mothers actually say is the worst part. It's not the birth, it's the getting the stitches afterwards. Well, so here we are. Here we are. It's all worth it. She is completely lovely, and I absolutely love her. I'm getting my placenta encapsulated, and so I look forward to doing that because it really staves away the baby blues for me, and I'm hoping with the tincture, which lasts a lot longer, that maybe I won't even have postpartum anxiety depression this time around, which would be amazing. So, thanks for listening, and thanks for joining me on my journey. I know I didn't start at the very beginning, but I think you guys got the good parts. Yeah. Of course, if you have any other questions or comments, just feel free to leave them for me, and I can do a follow-up video at some point. All right. Well, from Toronto, Canada, this is Willow and Mommy signing off. Bye.